Hey everyone, Penguin here coming to you with another finds video. As some of you might know, I was recently up in Pennsylvania about 2 weeks ago, and as you've seen two of my latest videos, I posted the PowerFest 1994 and the Campus Challenge 1992. I had the privilege of playing the actual cartridges of those from the owner, and it was a pretty awesome trip. Got to meet a lot of people from Nintendo age and do some trading and stuff, and met some new friends and some old friends. This is some of the stuff I picked up on the trip. As you can see, there's a lot of Service Center stuff. A lot of that comes to big thanks to Limbo Funk, who's also on YouTube. He's a really big Service Center collector, and he hooked me up with a lot of great things for really awesome deals. First off, though, I want to show something that his wife painted for me. It's pretty awesome looking. You can see there's my little Mario Penguin guy from one of my avatars, and there's a little test cartridge on there. Really awesome picture going on the wall of gaming art. Alright, first off, we're going to look at something on our way over to Paul's house where we were staying at. We stopped at one of the play and trades there, and I got a Kabuki Quantum Fighter for $4 with the manual, pretty minty. But the thing that really made this a good deal was the map that came with it. Now, Kabuki never had a map, and I kind of noticed that and didn't really think too much about it. And then we came back and looked at it, and believe it or not, it was a Section Z map, which, if you don't know too much about this map, it was from one of the earliest Capcom games on the NES. And this map goes for probably 50 to 100 bucks by itself, because it's very hard to find, because most of them were all ripped up and thrown away. So that's a pretty cool little find. Also from Paul, I got a couple games for the collection, Alien 3 complete in the box, and Metal Mech Man and Machine for the NES. Now for the really cool stuff. I'm going to start over here with some of the other little things. These are parts that were refurbished ones. Whenever they have the red tag on them, means they were refurbished parts from Nintendo repair centers. And here we have a dog bone controller for the NES, a cleaning kit for the Super Nintendo. There's two shells for a NES Zapper, a red one. There we have an AV cable for Super Nintendo, a couple RF adapters for the NES. Here we've got the Super Mario Galaxy promotional coin. And up here we have some Nintendo brochures, a couple of them from the Nintendo World Store in New York. Personal Trainer Cooking, Tetris DS, and there's one of the old Service Center ones from, I'd say probably about the mid to late 90s, because it has the Game Boy Color and N64 on there, so that's at least 1998 or so. Down over here we have some more parts. This is a NOS, new old stock 72 pin. This is the official Nintendo one, so it'll work a lot better than those Kung Fu Grip ones they sell on eBay. Here's some sealed parts. There's I think a 70 ohm converter. There's a stereo cable for the Super Nintendo, and there's an AC adapter for the original NES. There's some bags, which they used those to seal up a lot of the old systems when they repaired them at the repair centers. Right here we have a Nintendo 64 main board, which I believe this was from the Power Swap program that Nintendo did, where if something wasn't working, they would just send you a new part and then you would send in your old one. But this is a brand new Nintendo 64 board in the box there. Pretty cool little thing. Over here we have a Nintendo cleaner, which this came from a Service Center. I just thought it was kind of cool that it had this sticker on there. And it was actually in Orlando, Florida, which is pretty close to where I am. So he beat me to that Service Center, unfortunately. Here we have some new Game Boy screen covers. That's the original Game Boy there. Those are Game Boy Color, and that's a Game Boy Pocket one. Here's a demo disc for the GameCube version 14. I recently started collecting those, have about 6 or 7 of those. There's around 35, I believe. Got quite a few of those to look for. There's a sealed NES cleaning kit. And up here is a schematic diagram for the Nintendo NES control deck. All the pinouts for the CPU and whatnot. Pretty cool little thing. That came actually out of a older service binder. Now for the really good stuff. Up here we have 2 new test cartridges that I didn't have, but these are 2 new additions to the collection. This is the NTF2 2.5 test cartridge and accessory one. As you can see, it has the Super Nintendo control deck on there, along with the Super Scope and the mouse and the controller on there, which you can test all of those with this cartridge. It says on there Super NES and accessories. And then here, this looks kind of like the burn-in cartridge, but this one only tests really the screen and the sound and things. This is the NTF2 2.5 test cartridge. As you can see, also is indicated on there. Kind of interesting. This cartridge is really heavy. It has a battery backup in it. I took it apart and looked inside. See, this also came from Southern Photo in Orlando. Pretty cool things. And now, the things that I was saving for last, which these are by far the coolest of them. Some of the old Nintendo repair binders. Over here we have the Servicer Guidelines Manual, which that one was empty. I had all the paperwork that goes in it already. I was just missing the binder, so I transferred all the papers into there. Here we have the Nintendo Retail Store Training Module, which this thing was given out to people that were working in, like, let's say, an electronics store. This is just some of the policies and procedures that Nintendo has. A lot of times if you start a new job, they will give you a little binder that tells a little information about the company and some of their things. That's basically what this thing was. Excuse me. You can see there it shows some of the Nintendo products. It talks a little about the product warranties in here. Product line policy, how to send in things back to Nintendo for repair. Here's a troubleshooting guide, which is kind of cool. It has little picture diagrams of things and some common problems that can be fixed. Those. Yeah, there's also a video that goes with that. I don't have that though, but hopefully I can find one. And now, last but not least, this is the binder that I've always wanted, and finally glad to have this one. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System Technical Manual, which this is by far probably the biggest binder. I'll tip up the side here so you can see it. Look at that. There's a lot of pages in there. But this says all the technical specifications of the NES and a lot of the perpetuals, such as the Zapper, the Super Scope, or the 4-score, the Satellite, the Advantage, all the other stuff that they have for the NES. I can't think. But yeah, that's about it. I had a really awesome time. Got to meet a lot of cool people. Got some great stuff for the collection. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.